to another episode of Desire to Inspire. It's your mama's favorite podcast. It's been a while since we've been on here solo, Dylan.
I know. It feels like it's not going to be as long for the people because we drop these like sporadically in
Yeah,
between. But for us, I think we've had like three guests without actually doing one by ourselves in a while.
right. It's been a while.
It's cool though.
It is. The ones with the guests is it's fun. It's getting I was watching the one with Jeremy and it just seems like way more natural.
Yeah.
How we communicate when we like interact and when we chime in to say something. So
It's
it's
more
cool to
conversational when there's more than two people. Whereas two
yeah.
people, it's like, okay, I'm going to just let them finish this thought. Let me try to hold on to this and I'll spit it back out. But I mean, I'm excited for where the podcast is going. Because I mean,
hmm
we've obviously been talking behind the scenes. I don't think it's a fucking secret, so I can kind of talk about it now.
Yeah.
But like once we get into next year, we got a
hmm
lot of things happening right now, so it's gonna be a little hard to do that. We definitely want to get into like more than one a week. And I think like having a new guest on all the time is cool, gets new stories out there. Then having revolving guests, like a lot of these dudes, I would like to just get on here and chop it up with about anything. So it's like if we can start bringing topics that me and you have conversations about, and then
hmm
throw them out there with other people, like you said, it's gonna be more organic. We're gonna be jumping in and out of conversations, go all over the place. It's gonna be a lot more fun.
Yep. Yep. Um, the one that we have dropping, I don't know if it's going to be this coming week or next week. I definitely want to get him back on because we
It'll be
didn't
next
even
week.
next week. Yeah, we didn't even scratch the surface with Austin on how actually impactful he's being.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to go too in depth because I want to get to know him a little bit better through his like content and like now
Mm-hmm.
interacting with him and stuff like that. But yeah, no, it's we're having those conversations that we want to, man. Them real life conversations with people that are actually making a difference.
Yeah.
You have
Good.
something?
I
So
was just
I
gonna say it's
was
cool. We're loading up the clip with all these people too. Like we got three on deck right now. So
yeah, I was thinking too. So there when we were talking with Austin, I don't know if it was you or him that said something, but it was along the lines of when you get on this side of social media, you see the people that are ambitious, the people that have goals. Cause we were talking about how there's so many people that are doing things like we are. And that's why it's great to interact with them because we're pushing the same message. We're staying positive. We're doing things that are healthier, better for our mindset, our body, all this stuff. And I really started to think, and I'm like, damn, over the last like 6 months, and I know that you've known some people longer than I have, but like we have interacted and talked to a lot of amazing people, whether they're on the
yeah.
podcast or not on the podcast. And it truly shows you how great social media can be when you utilize it with the things that you're passionate about and that you actually like support and are happy and like bring positivity instead of focusing on the influencers and the spotlight and all that stuff. It's like a wild world. It's like two completely different things. And when
Yeah.
you unlock that door, it's fucking sweet.
I don't even think it's necessarily like that the influences are the bad part either. Because I think like there's like a lot of them have good intentions. It's just they draw on so many more people who then just
Yeah.
shit on them. And so then it's like the comments are negative. It's like everything around them's negative. But
hmm
like none of us are fucking uber famous on like the side of social media we're on. It's like people have like decent followings, but nobody's like crazy huge. And I think that that's the cool part is like everybody is just supportive as fuck. And that's
Yep.
what's crazy to see. It's like essentially we all do the same thing. Like we're all in the same realm, but
hmm
there's no competition. Like there's no hate on anybody. It's like how can we help further each other?
And we each have like our own niche that like
Yeah.
we're capturing. But again, it all like comes back to the big thing, and that's the fucking motivation, charisma, fucking determination to like not work for these cor big corporations. God damn, I
I
hate
was like,
words.
damn, you don't know that word?
Big corporations, and realize like, yeah, you might just be making ends meet right now, but putting your all into it and staying along the track of like what comes natural to you and what motivates you to do it, it's going to lead to greater return in your content, in your mindset, all of that down the road, the longer you stick with it.
That's what really sucks is all these people who we have met are about to be in our hometown in a month.
Yeah.
And it sucks because we can't fucking make it. But like I'm excited because we brought up the fact that this is something we want to do too. Like we want to have these meetups and like I don't even know what it's gonna look like.
Mm-mm.
But like just all of us getting together and like even it's more like a networking event than anything. But being able to do it in our hometown, which is about to be dope,
Yep.
is gonna bring out a lot more people. I think we're about to have a huge one when we go home.
Yeah.
Like when we
Oh, for
go like
sure.
to Lorraine, it's gonna be huge. But like even outside of that, I've been mentioning us going to Indy and us going to these other places. I've already got people like let me know I'm already in. Like people are
Yep.
already saying like I'm 100% in, and it's cool to see that like 6 months out, people are already committing to like coming wherever we're at and just
Hmm.
supporting what the fuck we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it'll be fun. Hopefully we have a lot outside of our hometown, but also the ones in our hometown because um we're that I feel like we're that light in a dark place. I don't know why. I just been thinking about our hometown a lot, talking to some people back home that I haven't talked to in a while. And there's went on a recent trip and now they're getting like motivated to move out the city because they saw like a bigger side of life. And it really is, man. I think I have the title of my book that I'm gonna write one day.
Okay.
I started writing it in
I
the
saw
air
you
one.
tweet that, bro, but I didn't know if you were serious or if you were talking about like you're just writing your story.
No,
Like,
my
I didn't
book.
know if you were actually starting to write.
Yeah, I am. So I'm gonna be a New York Times bestseller one day. Mark it down. We can look back September 24th, 2022. I said it.
I have that
It's
in my notes from like 2012. I said that shit, but
yeah,
mine's not going to be in the same realm. I'm probably going to write something that's completely fictional.
yeah. You'll probably write about dragons and demons, but then
Nah,
there's a
definitely
random
not that.
Smurf that comes along.
Nah, it'll be like people's real lives, but not real people. It'll just be a
Yeah,
figment of my imagination. I've actually, it's in the works now too.
yeah. So yeah, I've said it. I mean, forever. It's been on my fucking long term goals. Little checklist that I write down. Can't remember for how long, but definitely a long time. Just because I look back at the different struggles and things that I went through, and to know how bad I still suck at spelling, how bad I was at like reading and English and stuff like that, to one day be able to say like I turned it all around to be a New York Times bestseller through my stories that are helping people is going to mean a lot. So,
Yeah, I edit the newsletters. You definitely need an editor for that book.
oh yeah, 100%, bro.
Nah, I need an editor too. Like anything long form, you're gonna fuck up. Like that's why editors exist. Like there's
Yeah,
no way you're paying that much attention when you're just spitting everything out on a
right.
page.
Yeah, no,
But
not at all.
I don't know. I go back and forth in my head if I want to write that type of book. Technically, I have already. Like I've written one, but that dude was a lot. It was a lot to write, and it's not even like anything in my. I don't think it's anything profound. But I feel like that's most of these self help books. If you want to put them in that, like whatever category you want to put
I
them
don't
in,
know if it'll be a self help book, but
right?
I get what you're saying.
I don't know like what category a lot of the books we read fall into because I wouldn't say
Yeah,
all of them are self help, but I feel like that's where they all go. Personal development, growth, whatever you want to coin the phrase. A lot of them are essentially regurgitating the same shit. It's just through your own lens.
yeah,
And so I feel like I could definitely do that. It's just I go through that fucking thing in my head again, man. Where am I the authority who needs to talk about this? And I had the same problem when I wrote the first book, which I've never revisited for that reason. Because I actually feel like I could expand on that a lot.
dude. The one
My
that you sent me that I read, I was actually looking at it because it popped up the other day in my email when I got my new, excuse me, computer, and I saw your book was still like as flagged as one of the email things, and I was like, dude, he could expand on that and make that book 2 or 3 times bigger than what it is if he truly
my
sat down and went in depth.
my original thought for that book, it's for those who don't know, it's called Quitters Do Win. And it's basically like the things that you can quit in life to win. My original thought behind this was I wanted to find real life examples of people who have quit things, whether it be dropping out of school to start their own business or like quitting. Like, does that make sense? Like all these people who like quit all this
Mm-hmm.
shit to actually go on and then be successful. That was
Yep.
my original thought process, and it seemed like a daunting task at the time. So I stepped back and I just kind of wrote it from a lens of like quit these habits or like these actions or these thoughts or like whatever it is. But I would like to go in and kind of like put real life examples to each thing.
I think I might go back and reread that.
I think I should probably go back and reread it
Yeah, you definitely should, but
because
I
I
think
haven't
I'm
read
going
it
to too.
since I put it out.
Yeah, I don't think you've looked at it since you put it out.
Mm-mm. And you were actually the only person I sent it to before I actually put it out, like for feedback.
Mm-hmm.
You were the only one I even sent it to, which is kind of
I
crazy to think about because that's been out for a few years now.
I remember actually I was back home visiting and I told you that I would have my thoughts around the book by like X day. And I was like in bed and I had like a little bit more of it to read. And I stayed up till fucking like 12 or 2 in the morning. So that way I could have the feedback for you by the day that I said I would. But yeah, I think I'm gonna definitely reread that because I think I know there was gold in it, but I think that you could expand on it now, especially because your following has grown exponentially
Yeah.
since then.
Yeah, and not even that. I just feel like I've grown a lot since then. So being able to
Mm-hmm.
look at it like through a new lens of myself, because there's a lot of things I talk about that I felt and that I knew were things, but maybe that I necessarily wasn't putting into practice as much as I should be.
Yeah.
So I feel like now I could have a new. Plus, I don't know. I feel a lot. I always talk about this, bro. I always tell Diamond, I don't know when the fuck I'm gonna grow up, but I actually feel very grown the last like few months, and I don't know why. Like, all of a
Very grown.
sudden, yeah, dude. Like all of a sudden, I feel older, and it's weird.
Elaborate.
I don't know how to explain it, bro. Because I always said like, when the fuck do you like? I feel like when people say like kids, I lump myself into that. Like I don't view myself as an adult, but
Okay.
for some reason, the last couple of months, I have been. I don't know why.
Hmm.
I don't know like what shifted inside of me, but something in my brain is telling me I'm an adult now, and I don't like it. I don't like it.
I don't know. Like, are you
No.
acting different, doing different things?
Nope.
Nope. All right.
But I don't think the actions determine what I think it's an age. I think it is an age. Obviously, it's an age. Like that's when people you're not a kid or a teenager anymore. But I don't know.
I feel like I I don't know what you mean, but the way I relate to it when you say this is that I was thinking the other day and I was like, I'll I'll never grow up. I'm always gonna go out and
Yeah.
party. I'm not gonna get old, this and that. And now I'm like, I don't want to go. Like last night we sat on the fucking couch and
Oh, if
watched
you
a
want to go
show.
there, bro, I don't do anything anymore. I read books and I go to sleep at like 9:30. Dami's on my ass because I go to bed so early these days. But I'm like, you don't, dude. Oh,
I fell
she's
asleep
been.
by 9 yesterday on a Friday.
Yeah, I was in bed at 8:40 reading a book, and I went to bed by probably 10. But she'll be like, she's been getting on my nerves like no other lately, bro.
Mm.
Like not in like an actual
Mm.
negative way. Like when we go to bed, like she'll come to bed when I go to bed, but she works nights, so I know she's not really tired.
That's the
So
same thing
then,
with low.
dude, she'll spend 30 minutes fucking with me. I'm like, I'm trying to sleep. Like I'm like genuinely like, just let me sleep. I said, imagine if you get home at 8 in the morning and I come in here and I fuck with you for 40 minutes, you would be pissed. I'm like, this is when I'm going to bed for the day. I understand we're on two different schedules, but I'm actually going to sleep for the night. I said, if you walk in that door and I say anything off color, you're pissed. Like imagine if I just came in here and laid in bed and just fucked with you for an hour.
What does she do? Just like poke at you?
Bro, literally. Like,
I don't know if I want to know. That might not be
no, like like I'll just be laying there, like she'll just start like kicking me with her foot or like pushing me, and then she's like in my face. Dude, I can just like like how you feel someone staring at
yeah.
you? She'll just be staring. And she won't the TV's not on, nothing. And then I'll wake up at 2 in the morning, she's not in the bed. I'm like, why do you come to bed when I go to bed? Just stay out there. Just stay out in the living room.
I think 4 days out of the week this week, Lo has came into bed or slept in my office. Yeah, probably 4 of the days. I slept in there once because I go to bed literally by 9 every day almost. And she's like wide awake because I get up at 5:15, 5:30. She gets up at 6:30, so a
Yeah.
little later, not much. Um, but yeah, she'll come to bed and then she'll just move around or fucking shovel her feet in the bed. And I'm like, can you please relax? Are you gonna go to
How big
bed
of a
at
bed do
any
you got?
time, Queen?
Yeah. See, we got a king, so I don't care if you're in bed. I just care when
We
you're
need a
going
king, but
out of your way to fuck. I can never go back. I could never go back.
yeah, she wants one bad. But we got some things coming up that that purchase will have to wait.
Yeah. They're having a kid, everybody.
No, no, fuck no. Hell no. Jesus.
Oh shit.
Why do you read books? Why do you read so many books a year?
I genuinely enjoy like my first fucking love was reading.
Mm.
Like genuinely. Like I don't know what time that it started. I was reading before I went to kindergarten.
Oh
Like
wow.
legitimately. Like reading, writing, all that shit before I went to kindergarten, which is very weird,
Yeah.
but it was legit. And then like it just never stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Well, it did stop, but like once I got older, and
Yeah.
then once I got back into it, is I can't stop. Like I have read 3 books this week, and it's
Because
not
the
like
reason
it's
I
like,
you
oh,
read
go
3
ahead.
this week?
Hmm.
Holy fuck.
And I just started one yesterday. I'm about 100 pages in already.
God damn.
Yeah.
The reason I ask is because I was on Instagram the other day and saw some motivational guy. God, I shouldn't have ate this Chipotle before this podcast. I feel like I'm short of breath. um, but I saw this guy and he's an influencer that, spreads positivity, all that kind of shit. And he said, I hate how people think they need to read X amount of books or people
Yeah.
like brag that they read X amount of books. He's like, because if you're reading all these books, then what are you getting out of it if you're not implementing any of the like things in the
That's
book?
not the type of books I've been reading.
Yeah.
Because I
And
do
so
agree with that.
yeah. And so it got me thinking because all of the books I read are like self-help, motivational, like all that
Yeah.
kind of shit. And it really put like a kind of like a stamp to why I don't like continue to read a ton of books. Like I'm probably like a 4 book a guy a year type thing.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense because we read all these books. And so like transitioning your mindset, just think of like self-help books because this is what it was around.
Hmm.
We read these things or like we follow these people that are spreading really good knowledge and we obviously follow them for a reason because there's something that we're either trying to figure out in life, trying to get out of in life, or trying to restructure in life to make our situation better. And so for instance, I can look down here and there's 9 books right there that I've read over the last like 2 years. um and I saw this post and I was like, there's probably only like 3 of those books where I actually like do things that were said in it. But
Yep.
while I was reading, I was like, fuck, I could do this. Oh my God, that's really powerful, impactful, all this stuff. And so I was like, damn. I was like, maybe that's what it is that it's not always constantly like taking, that it's like take what's powerful, take what really hits you, and then fucking work on it for a few months. And then you get that pattern or habit or new thing dialed in that you were wanting to like correct. And then boom, start over again and like get something else to add to that pile. So that way you can keep moving forward with whatever it is that you want.
Yeah. I think so. Off of that, I agree 100% with like the self help motivational books. I read a lot of fiction. So like I read just pleasure books is what I'm gonna call them. I think like for me anyway, it's what gets me like inspired. I'll say it makes me more creative. Like it gives me
Okay.
like I because my head's all over the place. Like it's trying to figure. A lot of mine are like some kind of like thriller or like crimes. Like there's some kind of like I'm thinking like ahead of like what the fuck, what could this like I'm trying to figure it out before the book tells me what it is,
Yeah.
basically. And so for me, like that's what I when I said like earlier I'll probably write a different book. It's probably gonna be more in like that realm of just a fiction book. And
Hmm.
so like that gets me thinking creatively. But to your point, I do agree, like as far as self-help books go, you don't need to we as people, as a society, have an overconsumption of things. We
Hmm.
think that the more we take in, the better we're going to be. But you could read every book you want. If you're not applying anything, what the fuck's the point?
I
And I
think
think that
that's,
for yeah, I think a lot of people, it's basically just they it's like a fear. It's like a paralyzation. Like they don't want to take action. So let me just keep learning. Let me keep learning. Let me keep learning. So I can say that I'm doing something that's
yeah.
progressing towards my actions. When at the end of the day, you're just reading more and more books to procrastinate actually doing the real work. So people want to look like they're doing something when they're really just
Yeah.
procrastinating.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I even think like, even like podcasts and stuff that I listen to, like a lot of them are things that would be like forward thinking in the
Yep.
sense of like change this, do that, focus on this, all that kind of stuff. And it's like, fuck, like I think I'm having the realization now that I do a lot. I focus on a lot. I preach a lot about what I believe in. And I have a really good foundation of what I know it takes to be successful in my eyes, what I want
Mm-hmm.
success to look like. I know what it takes going down another path of staying mentally strong. So that way I don't fall back in that rut that I was in 2 years ago. I know what it takes to make sure that I keep advancing in the different areas, all of that stuff. But I listen to all these things and I either read or um, YouTube or podcast or whatever the fuck it is. And it's always just like being thrown at me. And so I think sometimes it does steer me out of the direction of like this foundation that I've laid. And it might make me think that I do more than I do because I'm intaking more, I'm
Yeah.
learning more. And then
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like a
wow.
false, it's like a fake thing. It's like you convince yourself I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, but it's like, are you actually, or are you just hearing other people do it? Because all these people who we look at as inspiration and
Yeah.
motivation, I guarantee you they're not fucking taking in content. They're out here living it and they're fucking failing. So then they have something to talk about. They're not talking about what so and so wrote about in their book. They're talking about a real life experience that fucked them up and they learned from.
Yep. Ah, just got some ideas, brother. This is
Yeah.
good.
As far
But
as
yeah.
podcasts, I do listen to more podcasts, I would say, than I read. Like
Mhm.
just because it's easy. What we do, a lot of it's busy work. So it's like, let me throw this on in the background.
Yeah.
And I still like catch good shit from it, but like there's no way you can apply everything. And you shouldn't apply everything.
Yeah,
Everything's
no.
not gonna apply to you. But like I've been getting intentional with like when I would go for runs, I'll throw in headphones, I'll put a podcast on because I'm like, this is better than just listen to music.
Dude, I haven't listened to music in 6 months, going on bike rides, going to the gym, nothing.
I listen to music a lot. I'm a big music guy, but like when I run, I just it first of all, speed, like it makes me want to run faster. So if I put on a podcast, I feel like I'm at least learning. But I've
Mhm.
been more intentional about not taking anything. Like let me be alone with my own thoughts and like let me just see like especially running. Like I feel like you get it you it's not like lifting where I'm doing different stuff. It's like I'm doing one thing now for the next hour. I'm
Yeah.
like basically I'm in a flow state. So like where does my mind go?
Yeah.
And I feel like where it goes in those moments where everything else is silent says a lot about what I want to do or what I need to do.
Yep.
I need to
That's like the other day when
clip
I,
that.
clip, clip. That's like the other day when I texted you about, Canva. You were like, "What the fuck are you like?" I don't know what your response was, investing in them, or you like
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
but
Was it
that's like when I'm
Canva?
at
Oh
yeah,
yeah, it was.
yeah. That's like when I'm at the gym, like I just listen to things that are happening in the world, not the fucking news. I don't listen to that
Right.
bullshit.
In different
But like
industries that you're interested in.
yeah, and so, like, whether that's podcasts like, Mind Pump or fucking, The Hustle Daily, like, I just wanna take in knowledge of what's going on so that way I can stay relevant, but also, like, think like, "Oh, shit," because they talk about what's going on in different countries. They talk about all this different stuff where you can really start to see where trends are going, even though people think the trends are this right now and what's in. It's like, no, it's somewhere else. The trends are starting to transition already to
It's
what's
like what we've been
next.
talking about. Nobody's thinking about 2023 quarter one. Like they're fucking in 2024 damn near. Like
Yep.
people think like what's right in front of me. That's not the way. I'm not saying like not to be present or anything. Like, but as far as like a big vision, you can't be thinking like what's next
Yeah.
month gonna look like.
Be present in life, but like be forward thinking in terms of like goals and success and like
Mm-hmm.
what you want to achieve. Because if you're thinking month to month, it's you should be thinking month to month when you have the big picture of how am I going to get to this and this, bro. How many times do I see it, say it, paint the
Yeah.
picture, step back, and then create action behind it? Because action without a plan is nothing. And that's what it is. And so even for us in this platform, it's like, all right, Q1 of 2023 is going to look like this. Now we're working on the things to get there. So that way 3 months from now, we're already like, oh, boom, now we're working on the
Right.
second half of the year and shit like that. But yeah, definitely like live in the moment, but remember what you're working towards and remember how important the moment is to get you where you want to go next, whether that's job, family, whatever the fuck it is. Everything is forward thinking. The next step is not just, oh, I'm gonna do this right now. It's you got to plan it out a little bit so that way it transitions smoothly.
Those things though, like that you do listen to, like just to kind of keep you relevant.
Hmm.
That kind of goes back to where we started this podcast. That's the type of shit I want to do. Like I want to be able to just talk about whatever is relevant today. Like just
Yeah.
oh, this happened without it being like forced in from this fucking weird media perspective. Like, let's just casually have a conversation about what the fuck's going on in the world. Like, I'm gonna have a different view than you are, and whoever else we have involved in this conversation is gonna have a different view. And somewhere along the way, it's gonna spark something that goes completely off topic. But that's like the kind of conversation I want to have. I want people to be able to come to us as a source to stay relevant and caught up without having all this negativity around everything that's going on.
Yep. Completely agree. I was looking for a quote that I wrote down, but I don't know if I'll be able to find it on the fly because it aligned with what you were saying. But Yeah, no, I agree. And that's why, like we were saying, we should do these next year, like way more often and have those people come back on because it allows everybody to like even form a bigger connection with us because it's almost like we're like characters in this whole plot. And
Right.
it's like, oh, they're bringing in these different characters that I relate to as well. And it just spreads everything.
And it gives us dimensions. Like this isn't the only side of us. And I think that
Mm-mm.
that's what the biggest important thing that I want 2023 to be is like I'm not just this. I'm not just a coach and somebody who talks about how to become your best self. Like, I want to get on here and bullshit about sports and comedy and fucking what we're watching on TV and just whatever that
Yep.
like gives dimension to it. So like, oh, like sure they do these things, but they're also a regular person who enjoys fucking life. Like, it's not like somebody who just shuts out the world and just zones in on what they want and they only focus on that.
Yep.
I don't want to be one dimensional, man.
Nah, we can't be. That's how people die off, man.
Yeah, we're about to be fucking Barstool one of these days, you know?
All right.
They fucking sick, right?
That would be fucking dope. Yep. Now we're I won't even get into that. That's
Dead
next
ass
year's
though, I
stuff.
would like to like branch out and like not be on other shows because like this is gonna be like our main platform. But like if we could like people who are under us like hosting little fucking shows, that'd be fun as fuck.
That would be
Like
dope.
just a whole net, like a podcast network essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be sick.
It's so weird that those are things. When I think about how far podcasting has come, it's insane.
It's
I
taking
have been
over,
doing,
bro.
dude. I've been doing podcasts since before anyone knew what a fucking podcast was.
Yep. Crew. I
Yeah.
don't know which one was before that.
My first ever like inspirational one
What
with
was that one called?
Game Changed.
I don't know if I know that one.
Yeah, I think you did because that was like my first one ever. I'm pretty sure you heard it. It was me
Okay.
and my buddy Brandon, who was friends with Carnivore Matt.
Oh yeah.
That's how I
Dude,
got connected with him.
did I tell you about the text message I got after we dropped the one with Matt?
No,
So my buddy from college hits me up and he goes, "Dude, you had Matt, I forget his last name on the
Lawrence.
pot, Lawrence on the podcast." And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Dude, that kid went to my high school." And I was like, "No fucking way." He was like, "Why are you giving me that face?"
I was just like, that's wild.
Oh,
It
yeah.
wasn't a bad face. I was just shocked.
He was like, "Yeah, bro." He's like, "We weren't like that close in high school." He's like, "But I knew he was a great guy." He was like, "It was awesome to see that you guys like somehow got in contact with each other to be able to
He's
do this."
probably he's probably went to high school with the dude I did my first podcast with then because that's how him and Matt knew each other.
Oh, then yeah, I
Yeah,
probably did.
yeah,
I was like,
and
"Wow, what a small fucking world."
yeah, that Brandon dude is the whole reason I even got into fucking working out, which he wants to come
Mm.
on soon too. He coaches like college football, so
Oh,
yeah,
that'd be dope.
he's fucking tore a pec too, so we'll see how recovery's going. But yeah, he's the
That's no
first dude who
bueno.
like introduced me to lifting. Like
Oh wow,
he had the balls to tell me I was getting fat. Like
we
legit.
love those people.
We worked together and he was like, dude, you need to get in the gym. I'm like, what? He was like, you're getting fat, dude. I'm like, fuck. And I wasn't getting fat. I was fat. Like I was already there. It was done. So I was like, all right, dude. And
Oh yeah.
that was the start of my 4 a.m. workouts.
What's his name? Derek?
Brandon.
Brandon. Close.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
We need more people like Brandon in the world. Be real with
100%.
people. Oh,
Yes, sir.
that's all I got, baby.
That's all I got too. This is about to just fall under them fucking keeping it casual fucking things.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's I have a whole fucking shit like a playlist in our YouTube where all the casual ones just go.
Yeah.
Just keep it casual and just go under there.
Yep.
More of just getting on bullshit. But this one was still way less casual than the last one was you in your Browns year, I think.
That was a good one, dude.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Your Bengals aren't doing too hot.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that, man.
Anyways, people, as you know, had the desire to inspire, do it right now because tomorrow's not promised. And remember, your mama loves us more than she loves you. Is
Whoa, peace.